Yeah, wrong uns. Let me just move things around. Let me make sure I've got all my swag. Dear Lord. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Where am I? Evening. I'm not quite sure what was going on technically, but right. Let's get to some of these messages. Yeah, wrong uns. Where are we? 8:05. Terrible. Carl Bassett, hello, Adrian. You're wrong. Me and my wife Irene really enjoyed the Santa on your radio show this afternoon. Thank you, Carl. As we were drinking Cointreau, darlings. Oh, I say. 2 weeks away from Christmas, Carl. It's a little early. Was the sun over the yardarm? AD Blackmore. Can't watch tonight, guys. I'm problem with me Wi-Fi, but I'm having a strum. Thank you, Eddie. Mr. John, good evening, Adrian. You're wrong. And good evening to all tuning in. Poor old Harry loses the court challenge against the Mail on Sunday. The lad just doesn't seem to know how things work. Bless him. Ask his missus. She knows how things work. Rusty Mouse, I just hope the court will see through Harry's false stories and lies. Re full protection. We are going to talk about that malarkey in just a little while. Mr. John Rusty Mouse, Harry's completely lost the plot, sadly. And as far as I can see, I think things are going to get worse for him before they get better, as long as he's with Meghan. Anyway. Cheers, Mr. John. Bovril. Is this the place where all the wrong-uns hang out? Must be your underpants. Bovril. Mr. John Up. Adrian, I love the broadcast. 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's the magic of Christmas and what Christmas is all about. Just wonderful. Thank you, Mr. John Up. If you haven't already, have you seen or are you planning to have a look at the Father Christmas phone-in with the kids? It's a bit special. We'll talk about it in a little while. I want to get through some of your messages before we get back to the running order and tell you about which president is buzzing his bits off. Andrew James, Adrian, I loved hearing the Santa Claus phone-in. It reminded me when I was a kid. My parents gave me a magic number to talk about to Santa. I didn't know it was my dad upstairs on the phone talking to me. Oh, trauma, Andrew. But to be fair, that genuinely was Father Christmas, Santa Claus, if you wish. We had a landline to Lapland, and the kids loved it. Do you know, somebody, I can't remember where the comment was, but somebody says, Adrian, it would be lovely if one of those children that called Father Christmas, who's now, I don't know, somewhere near their late 20s, early 30s, if they called in and said, I was one of them, it'd be fabulous. It would be fabulous. It was one of the best radio shows I've ever been involved in. I didn't really present it. It was the kids and Father Christmas. I was just the MC, making sure it went in the right direction. And that's as live. It's not being edited, apart from we took the adverts out, because you can't rebroadcast those, but and some of the music. I mean, we couldn't monetize it simply because there was a little bit of copyrighted music at the beginning, so we just left that in and just gave it to you as a gift, because I would like you to hear more of the stuff that I've done on the radio, and that was part of it. And it was just magical. And you know what? Maybe one day we'll get Father Christmas on the Theatre of the Mind for the adults. Goodness knows what you'll ask for presents. Oh, and if you haven't, I don't want to give you any spoilers for the show. It's 40 plus minutes long, and coming up to Christmas, it will definitely get you in the mood. But there was one little call that, well, it was every single call was amazing and wonderful and magical. But the little girl asking for asking for the chocolate orange just I couldn't speak in the studio. And I know the people through the glass, my Uppo Leighton and some of the others that were around, they couldn't speak either. It just magical. Magical, magical, magical. And if you believe in the magic of Christmas, then please have a watch, have a listen. If you're walking the dogs or doing something, you can just put it on in the background and play it. And for me, it was just wonderfully magical. Wonderfully. Talker 69, evening, you wrongin', and thank you for your comment on the Santa comment. Talker 69, Stephen Hall, evening, evening. Yes, you have to show your right knee to prove you're a wrongin'. Oh yeah. Andy Turner, let's get ready to. Will you bugger off, Andy Turner? I'm not Bungle. Did I tell you I was hit on by one of the gay newsreaders? I won't tell you where, but he said, "Oh, doesn't he just look like Bungle?" You tart. Tarblock Tracy. Evening, tots. Be warned, TBT is in a foul mood. Okay, well, I can swear, but I don't want to. I don't want to be, base. But anyone who's a complete and utter wrong'un will not be tolerated, and if provoked, I will give you a good tongue lashing. Block Tracy, man. Andy Turner, late, I see. Yeah, sorry, Andy. I was technical issues. I don't know what went on there. I had to restart my phone. Leeds, evening, Adrian, Marie, evening all, and Gary Shabbat. Good evening all. Evening. So let's get into it. Oh, Tracy Ann Cannon. Tracy, can I just? I'm sure there's. I mean, I'm still fairly new to all of this, but there's something, was it a super like or a super chat or a super something? And I think at the bottom of the chat, there's that like $sign. Don't know what it does, but I think you can, donate pennies. But Tracy Ann Cannon donated a little something a few weeks ago. And forgive my manners, Tracy Ann, I forgot to say thank you. And I just want to say, really appreciate it. It'll buy me some hibiscus tea for Christmas. Obviously, Father Christmas is not going to come anywhere near me. I've been the chief wrong'un all year, so I'm never going to get past that. So thank you, Tracy Ann Cannon. Dear Santa, I just want a Mercedes and a townhouse for Christmas. That's all. I wouldn't say no to a box of After Eights. Oh, now you're talking, Tracy Ann. What, with chocolate oranges and After Eights? Leeds. Adrian, what's your favourite Christmas film? Do you mind if I keep that for maybe Wednesdays live, because there's a lot to get through and there's some fabulous stuff to get through tonight. So yes, I will consider it. I will think about it. Normally, the Muppets Christmas Carol. I don't know why. It's just fabulous, and A Wonderful Life, marvelous. I've never. I know Die Hard is considered a Christmas film by some, but so this year, the blended families are getting together. I'm spending time with my sister and my nephew, who's getting married next year to the wonderful Krishma. So we're having a big old family do with loads of food. It's just as well I've joined a gym early doors. But so it's going to be a wonderful family do. The new Mrs. Allen and everybody, 7 or 8 of us, I think. Marvellous. It's just that. I mean, what do you? It's my sister. I love it dearly. And I said to her the other day, I said, what do you want bringing? Oh, nothing. Just bring you. Typical Northeast. I was like, no, that's not going to help any. I mean, I must bring something. So we've got an idea or 2 or 3. But trust me, the feeling of the 5,000 in the Allen household. And my sister knows I won't bring her or any identifiables here while it's live. So, yeah, Muppet Christmas Carol. I'll have a think. A Wonderful Life. So the reason I mentioned the family thing at Christmas, and I'm sure you're the same, is morning, presents, and then 2 o'clock Sunday lunch. And then it's King Charles III first Christmas address. Now, we could make a drinking game of it. So how far in do you think he's going to get before he mentions his mother? How am I, Charles? Stand on your own 2 feet, you spineless. Yeah, all right, we all miss her, and she was the mother of the nation. You're now the father, the daddy. Just give it to us. And don't be kissing the Americans' derriere. Don't, man. Just stand there and go, do you know, I've had such a bloody year this year. It's been a nightmare, can I tell you? And then just go off on one, Charles. Just treat it like a YouTube live, man. As if you're having a bit of a rant. We'll talk about Charlie. But so 3 o'clock, everybody's, watching the King. Afterwards, it would have been Top of the Pops. 4 decades. Top of the Pops. Shut up, Mum, Dad. Shut up. Top of the Pops is on. Oh, there's Jimmy Savile. Touching up the kids again. Gone. But afterwards, games. The new Mrs. Allen said, so what games should we play? And I was like, well, we're not playing charades. Cards Against Humanity. Anybody got that? Anybody played that? Yeah, let's play Cards Against Humanity. And Mrs. Allen's gone, no, Adrian, no. I said, my sister's worse than me, man. What do you mean? I said, my sister would love that. Cards Against Humanity. I bet it's not being politically correct. It's being just... If you don't know about Cards Against Humanity, it's just one of those games that you have to play with close friends. There's, what's that Apple's game? That app. It's even worse. It's just funny. I mean, you find out so much about people and about their... Andy Turner, strip poker. Can you imagine? King Charles III. And do the royals watch the King or the Queen? Oh, hello, Mummy, you're on TV. Oh, Charles, I do like you in the mink. And that crown. I want to talk about him later, but you kind of leading me into the royals. Can I ask you a question? Do you think King Charles looks like the drunken uncle at Christmas that wears an ill-fitting crowd and tries to be royal and regal? I mean, I keep mentioning this... The Windsors. It's a Channel 4 thing, and it's Harry Enfield, and Harry Enfield is just marvellous. Marvellous. It's the bloody funniest thing you've seen in an age. I mean, I don't know whether the royals will go, oh, Papa, I don't think Channel 4 like you. But it's like Harry Enfield comes on stage, and he looks like Charles. And when Harry Enfield wears the crown, it doesn't fit. It doesn't. It doesn't, Adrian, please. Enunciate carefully. So it doesn't. And like Charles looks like he's a spitting image puppet that's been on Windsor's the end game. Don't mention the book. And like he's like, me crown's wobbling. Oh, Camilla, what do you think? Mr. Wobbly hides his hat. Those that know that, they'll get the gag. Not that you couldn't see my lips move. So, oh yeah, Gremlins. And the 1970 gritty movie hardcore count as Christmas movies. Andrew, I saw Gremlins at the movies. I mean, it was funny. Funny little things. Oh, Leeds. Brilliant. I've played Kids Against Humanity. I always lose and always end up having to eat something disgusting. Blimey, what are you playing? Is it like strip poker or something? Or is it strip Cards Against Humanity? I'm not getting my kit off, honestly. Everybody's... Christmas Day lunch will come back up. Tracy Ann Cannon. Adrian, you were right about the crown. I watched the 4 episodes with Diana and Dodie. The man who played Muhammad Al-Fayed was just like him. I was hooked watching it. Right, you've got me into the royals. I wasn't going to do that first. I was going to do showbiz and some funny political stuff, but we'll talk about the royals. So, the rest of the royals airs midnight this Wednesday. And I am told on very, very, very good authority by someone who's seen it that the last episode is a must watch. So what are they doing? They're doing 6 episodes, I think. They're doing 10 in all, 4 on Diana, and then 6 on the rest. And the last 6. The last episode is to be seen to be believed. I mean, poor Fergie, she's got the fat version. I mean, I know that telly puts, I don't know, is it 8 to 10 pounds on you when you look at this? I'm 6 stone ringing wet. I'm joking, but poor Fergie, they've got the fat version of her. I'm not being fattest or anything, but it just you'll see. I'm just as I see it. The promos are out for the last episode. So just to let you know about that last book, you know, with Thunderbirds Are Go, the Philip Tracy puppet. Honestly, those eyebrows. I don't look. Face for radio, but anybody that thinks like filling their head full of Botox and filler, because like it's just smooth here on Mr. Scrotum's face. You know, the guy that wrote Finding Dollars in America, in Montecito. These eyebrows, I mean, just who told him now to get those eyebrows, mate? So, Mr. Scrotum's had his book released, and he's only sold 6,400 in this country, and only just over that in America. I mean, America's what, 320 odd million people, and he sold 9,000 copies. So, the two main markets, UK and America, 15,000 copies. It's only 150 grand. I bet the publishers haven't made their money back from that. No. And do you know what's happened? Prince Harry's popularity has gone down to 28%. So that's like, what, 72% don't like him? Meghan, honestly, she'd be in single figures soon. I thought she was minus, but 21%. So Endgame sold 6,448 copies in the UK. Almost 9,000 copies in America. And talking about The Crown, as I was at Midnight Wednesday, do I take one for the team and watch it for you? And tell you whether it's... I mean, you know, the Diana story is kind of finished now, although she was a ghost in the last episode. So, what are they going to do? GB Patriot, any more on the Philip Schofield whitewash? Well, you can say that. I was just reading that before I came on air. I mean, obviously, I buy the newspapers every day. I should be your best mate if you want to make paper mache. I'm your boy. The amount of newspapers I've got. But Scott's not coming back, according to them, the Mail and the. I mean, it's you know, there are some strap lines for certain news organisations. And Sky, never wrong for long. And the Mail, I'll just publish. What they're going to do, Sue? So, right, let me just get some semblance of order tonight. Because you always distract me, you utter wrong-uns. So, I know it's a busy time of year. But I'm just going to let you know, and it's an easy way to keep it in your head. There are going to be lives over the next couple of weeks, obviously. Because this appears to be my job. So we're doing Wednesday. The next live is this Wednesday, 8 o'clock, 13th of December. So the easiest way to remember this is there's no live on Christmas Eve, but every Sunday and Wednesday until the new year, there might be one on New Year's Eve. You never know. But the easiest way to remember is no live on Christmas Eve, because I'm out for dinner with the new Mrs. Allen. And I will do the 13th, the 17th, and the 20th, and then after Christmas, which is the 27th. So, no Christmas Eve, Wednesday and Sunday, every time, 8 o'clock. And it's a busy old time of the year. I know that people are trying to get, some people are going away on holiday for Christmas. Some people are trying to get everything done. Have you got your Christmas decorations up? I mean, I sound like a hairdresser. You know, going anywhere nice for your holiday? Got your Christmas decorations up, yeah? But look, this week is going to be insane. Just this week, just till next weekend. I mean, Wednesday we can talk about it, but this week there's going to be blood on the walls. Rishi Gervais gone, because now there's politicos saying that Rich Boy Sunk reminds them of David Brent from The Office. I mean, how brutal is that? Have you seen? Look, the next time you see Rich Boy on the telly and he's standing up, and he may be walking or maybe standing there, have you seen how short his trousers are? Who makes them? His wife or his missus or something? Or does he get it from some dodgy tailor in London or India? I mean, it's always the last inch that makes the difference, Rich Boy. You can make the gags up. So there's going to be blood on the walls. So there's this. We've got Nigel, possibly the king of the political jungle. So I will say that seeing Nigel Farage in those pants, I mean, we all know he's not Linford Christie by any stretch of the imagination, but it didn't leave anything to the imagination. It was just Nige there. Big Nige, little Nige. And Josie Gibson laughing her cat off. I mean, it might have given the guy a complex. But his girlfriend was out surfing, had a bit of an accident, so I'm not sure she'll be there when he comes out of the jungle. Tab Luck Tracy, does Rich Boy pay VAT on his school trousers? He must do. They're up around his waist. It reminds me of Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell wore them up to his nipples, didn't he? His trousers. It's a bit like that. It's like Rich Boy Sunk is like the sixth form that you don't want to have anything to do with. And now the whole Tory party are turning against him. 22 letters of no confidence have gone into the 1922 committee. 22. They're all panicking in Parliament because they think that. So basically, Andrew James, he tips the tailor over the desk. So there's this Rwanda vote on Tuesday, and they're trying to strong arm most of the MPs to say, get voting for the Rwanda deal. And the Rwanda deal is they've already paid them 250 million. Rwanda's obviously, whomever they're dealing with has obviously gone, right, lads, thanks very much. We'll take that off you. Yeah, no problem. How much? 250? Yeah, no problem. You want us to do what? How many? 100. 250 million to take 100 people. Would you? It'll solve a lot of problems. Well, tell you what, we'll do 250 million for the first 100, and then let's negotiate upwards. So, I don't know whether it was Lord Pigfogger. Oh, did I say that out loud? I don't know whether he was over there, because first he was in Ukraine, then he was Israel, getting his priorities right, and then he's they're doing the Rwanda thing. But it's James, not so cleverly, he's saying to everybody else in the Tory party, right, vote, you tarts. Otherwise, the Tory party's finished. And I think the MPs are going, whoa, blimey, the intellect on you. We already get that. Hayden says in a few days there will be a vote of no confidence in Rich Boy or Rishi Gervais. And I agree. This Rwanda vote is going to be an utter... The Scots have a really great word for it. It's called a guddle. It's a mess. It's a guddle. And I do believe that the Tory party is done. They've got a couple of knights in shining armour. Cruella might come back. So I'm going to ask you a question, and you can vote. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Would you sooner, because they reckon that Boris is going to be back to save the Tories. He's going to be their knight. on a white Charger, coming back going, oh yes, the COVID inquiry, bagger. So he's had his 2 days. Rich boy, he's in, is it tomorrow or Tuesday? My mother and father were immigrants. That's got nothing to do with eat out to stay out. So I am looking forward to seeing Rishi Gervais, as GB Patriot has said, get pulled apart tomorrow by a KC. Hugo Keith HK. Well, Rusty Mouse is saying, no, not Boris, please. And Sandra Wytham said, no, the Boris, no. Tablock Tracy, I did say I was in a bad mood and I'm out of cheap red wine, so I'm drinking meths. I've got a bad back. Stop making me laugh, you're wrong. So 1, 2, 3 or 4. I want your votes. The Vapist stream died. Hang on. Yeah, at the beginning it did. I don't know. It wasn't the Wi-Fi. Don't know what happened. Just didn't. So I had to log out of my phone and log back in again. So would you sooner keep the rich boy status quo as it is? That's 1. 2. Bring back Boris. Bring back better. Bring back Boris. As long as he gets a bloody haircut, I mean, he's like his dad. Well, oh, hello. Streaming's back. Hang on. Right. That works. I don't know how far behind you are, but oh, something's crashed. Oh, that's it. Let's have a look at that. Right. I was just getting into my flow. Let's leave that there. And that, and right. Where was I? Right, I'll give you the numbers again. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1, keep Rishi status quo as it is. 2, bring back Boris. 3, get Suella. Or 4, bugger that, I'm voting reform. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. Hasn't gone again. 1, keep Rishi. 2, bring back Boris. 3, get Suella. 4, bugger that, I'm voting reform. So what do you think? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Hang on, bring back David. 1, 2, 3, 2. Ooh. Yeah, 4 seems to get it. It's interesting because they are the word on the street is that they're going to offer Nige a peerage to get him in the House of Lords. So they're kind of buying him off. But interesting. Some 2s, some 3s, mostly 4s. And Wiki Videos 1 to 69. So we'll top those up. But I do believe this week there's going to be literally civil war in the Conservative Party. This is politics eating itself. It's wonderful to watch because for all Boris's failings, he does know how to bluff and bluster. Proper. So, Tarblock Tracy 4, Simon John Lavender 4, the Bovril 10 4s. If you're into CB, you would know what I've just done there. CB Radio. Kenny Knowles, 4, man. 4. Seamoon Maria. A vote for the English Constitution Party for me. Wow. Nice one, Seamoon. Philippa Fraser, who caught the Father Christmas phone in a little earlier. Thank you, Philippa. Thank you for your very kind words. Do appreciate it. Mad Matt UK. At least Suella has balls. bigger than anybody else in the Tory party. I mean, I saw her, it wasn't necessarily a resignation speech, but it was her standing up in the Houses of Parliament. And what the bloody hell's going on there? Good question. Fill you in said, here, Adrian, what's the Reform Party's mandate? I don't think they've got that far yet. Back of a fab packet, probably. Andrew James is AA using Vista. Wasn't Buena Vista? So we've got civil war in the Conservative Party. They've been around a long, long time. But do you know something? With Farage coming out of the jungle, the kind of politics has changed somewhat. Do you not think? It's Vivian Kenyon, 69 every time. I think it's a cue, Vivian. It's personality politics, and it's like they're wanting to go on, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. I'm like celeb. They won't go on Celeb Big Brother. Neither will Scove, from what I'm hearing at the moment. But that might come back in March. So he's still. So it's 12, 14 weeks away. But Celebrity SAS, Matt Hancock. I mean, Boris would never go in there. Characters like Nadine Dorries or Penny Mordaunt or Boris, they'd never go in there because they'd have to take off their armour. They'd have to take off their scales. They were never going to do that. They'd never do that. Yeah, Hayden, stick Scooby in the jungle. What would he do for his Botox? So, I'm going to ask you, again, we're going to play about tonight. I'm going to ask you another question. Now, I had to do the research to find out who was the Prime Minister at my birth, and it was Harold Macmillan. Jesus, I know I'm that old. But which was the best Prime Minister of your lifetime? And I want you to name them. I'm not going to give you, it's not multiple choice. I want you to name them in the comments, because it'll be very interesting. Look, I can remember Callaghan, Wilson, Edward Heath. What an odious, odious man. I mean, I remember the billboard with Blair's eyes. Remember the devil's eyes? For me, Blair was the most evil Prime Minister beyond Heath. Anything that Heath did. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know I'm not going to take that anywhere for the moment. So who was the best Prime Minister of your lifetime? You've got a choice. But as I say, you know that the Labour Party, 1922, they've only ever had 6 Prime Ministers in over 100 years. I mean, how pants are they as a party? They're an opposition party, but now you've got Keir Starmer saying, I'm a fan of Margaret Thatcher. But for all of her, look, I stood shoulder to shoulder in the miners' strike. I was on the picket line because Sunderland and the surrounding areas where I lived, it was all mines, all the shipyards, steelworks, shipyards, mines. That was the only career that you had in Sunderland until Nissan appeared back into the 80s. But Maggie did what Maggie did. She's getting the most votes, let me tell you. GB Patriot, yeah, I know. Took them over the side of the boat. Hang on, Andrew, you're a bit slow. Stephen Hall, Blair was the worst. So we don't have to get into what they did or what they didn't do. It's just an interesting question, because everybody might have their political associations or the political allegiances. But Maggie comes out top for all what she did, and she destroyed the coal industry, she destroyed the steel industry, she destroyed the shipping industry. So she destroyed all of the industries in my area. And like Mr. Johnop says, in South Wales. I heard a really good joke about the Belgrano the other day, and I can't remember it. Hayden, yeah. Wasn't on Hampstead Heath, though. That was George Michael. What did George Michael and a Wellington boot have in common? They both get sucked off in bogs. So, the Labour Party have had 6 prime ministers ever. Notice no one's mentioning Gordon Brown. But the Tories have had 4 prime ministers in this term, this 4-year term. They've had Theresa May, leather trousers. They've had Boris. They've had that sub, Liz Truss. She wears a day collar. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know. If you don't go Googling it when you've got anybody else around you. Just Google day collar. You'll find out. And Rich Boy Sunk, who's about to find out what the Tories are all about this week. And they're all about power and they don't care about anybody else. So the Labour Party have had just more prime ministers in 100 years than the Tory party have had in the last 4. But I think it's literally going to be blood up the walls. It's not going to be a night of long nights. It's literally going to be blood up the walls. Are you aware of I don't know whether you're aware of the character Alex Jones. I've been aware of him for decades. And when we had adrianallen.com 2000, people from Alex Jones's website were looking at my website. Proper funny. But anyway, Alex Jones has been deplatformed from like everybody, all the Americans are very upset at him. And that's not the Alex Jones that presents the One Show, the South Walian or the Welsh girl. No, this is Alex Jones. He was talking to Tucker Carlson this week, and he just, a bit like Sandy Hook, the parents of the kids that were killed at Sandy Hook, took him to court. Civil action, sued him. And he had to pay them billions, or has to pay them billions. Whether that's under negotiation, we won't know. But it looks like Elon Musk has given him access to X again today. And when I followed him, there was barely 1,500 followers on X. I looked at it just before I came on air. Over 1 million. So Alex Jones was talking to Tucker Carlson. And Alex Jones says, oh, yeah, Joe Biden, the president, yeah, Joe Biden, he's off his tits. He walks around the White House at night, in the middle of the night, naked. Not wrong with that. Unless you've got security men running all over the place going, president's going to the toilet, president's going to the toilet. No, he's got no clothes on. Oh, no, my eyes. So he's wandering around with no kit on. Not only is he wandering around, but according to sources, on a morning, I mean, he's so old. And Sleepy Joe, as the Donald, President 45, said, Sleepy Joe, they have to give him some amphetamines in the morning. They give him speed. They give the President of the United States, Joe Biden, speed to get him going in the morning. Then they somehow let him nap. Maybe he's got ADHD, and then they give him the medication that lasts for 3 hours. But so they get him up to speed. Then they let him have a nap in the afternoon, and then if he's got like a ball or something, or he's got something official in the evening, they give him more speed. And then last thing at night, they give him something else to bring him down and get him to sleep. That's why he's wandering around naked. He doesn't know who he is and where he is. Where's this? Do I live here? So Tucker Carlson is quoted as saying that, I know someone personally who witnessed him taking amphetamines, and this was during the 2020 election. Wow, I mean, do you know the stuff that goes on in the background? I mean, I know that, certain parts of the American military are given speed when they go on mission, just to keep them sharp. And that's why they're a bit trigger happy. But the President of the United States, supposedly the most powerful man, the leader of the Western world, gets up, amphetamines for breakfast. That's proper rock and roll. No wonder he's knackered. No wonder he walks around as if he doesn't know which planet he's on. Earth. Joe, Earth. So, Joe Biden, buzzing his tits off every day. What a boy. Worst I get, hibiscus. Mad Matt UK says, everyone needs a kickstart. And the first thing, I have Nescafe. Me too. Does Biden also eat Battenberg cake? Oh, the old Bovril. Can you imagine? Fill you in. They give me speed to calm me down. Is that Ritalin? Isn't the medication for ADHD amphetamine based? Maybe they're giving them that. GB Patriot, Purple Hearts. Heard of them. The Vapist, Joe Hayden. That is very funny. Very funny. Genuinely. So, we're kind of we're tight for time tonight. So let me just career through some of this. So, some showbiz stuff. Scove not coming back in the public eye for a long time, according to reports today. Shane McGowan, they played Fairy Tale of New York at his funeral. That's because it's the only one of his songs everybody knew. Name another one. Doctor Who? Don't watch it. It is proper wokery shite. Finished, done, over. I don't care who they're bringing as the Doctor. Not really interested. Don't be preaching to me. And there's the BBC deciding to up the licence fee and then spend £14.2 million on a new studio complex, because the Maida Vale studio complex, it's not fit for purpose. So they want to spend 14 million. You can buy a full estate in the northeast for 14 million. In fact, you could buy the whole estate next to the Nissan factory for less than 14 million, less than $1 million. And they say, yeah, well, it needs to be pucker. No, done. You're asking us for money. It's a tax. You're asking us for more money and then you're squandering it. Do you know how much Holly was getting for I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? You know when she kind of stood in when Ant was crashing cars? She stood in. She was getting 23 grand per show. £23,000. And do you know Ant and Dec? Dec's the one on the right, always. Ant is the one on the left, always. They're getting 33 grand per show currently, according to my sources. 33 grand per show for an hour. Anybody could knock one of those out. TV show. Start making your own gags up. I just wanted to also pass, and I really don't want to be disrespectful and sort of just mention it in passing. But Friday was a really big day. Friday the 8th of December, every year. It's 43 years since John Lennon was shot. There's a great three-parter on Apple TV about Lennon and the night he was shot. Do you know that he's been gone longer than he lived? He lived for, was it 40? He died when he was 40 in 1980. It's now been 43 years since he was shot. Where were you when John Lennon was shot? I remember I was a boy. I'm a motor mechanic, motor vehicle engineer by trade. I served my apprenticeship and I was at college on the day that he was shot. And I just remember going and getting some food in the college in Sunderland. And I just heard a couple of guys going, oh, he's been shot. He's been shot. I was like, who's that? I was just walking past him with some food. And somebody else just said, John Lennon. And literally, my whole world collapsed. He was my hero. He was the Beatle. Lived his life on his terms. And Mark David Chapman, he was sentenced to 20 years to life. And his last parole appeal was September 22. I think there's been 12 appeals, and he's been denied each one. MK Ultra, anyone? But the Americans were very, very worried about Lennon in the early 70s, all the way through mid-70s when he was campaigning against the Vietnam War, and they were very worried about him. But 43 years since his passing. And he died when he was 40. And it was mentioned, but it wasn't really with any reverence in the mainstream media. They were all, blowing smoke up at each other's backside. But John Lennon, I know Paul McCartney wrote some and sang some and did some, but for me, Lennon was the Beatle. He was the Beatles. He just was able to drag things out of somewhere, the ether somewhere, and create genius. But gone 43 years, Friday the 8th of December. Don't know, maybe you were too young. Maybe you were old enough to remember. But such a shame. Such an absolute shame. I'm just going to give you a bit of inside knowledge. It's political, but we'll get to the showbiz and the royals, because I want to talk about Charles and the race row. But Vladimir Putin, seemingly, he was on the phone for 50 minutes to Bibi, Benjamin Netanyahu, President of Israel. Or is he Prime Minister of Israel? Yes, Prime Minister. And he was on the phone for 50 minutes speaking with Benjamin Netanyahu. Why would Russia be on the phone for 50 minutes? The president of Russia be on the phone for 50 minutes with Bibi Netanyahu. How much money is going into Israel? And what is Israel buying from Russia with the $110 billion that America wanted to give them? It's a bankers' war. Don't be silly. Don't tell me anything else. It's a bankers' war. And you and I will only know whether we're correct at the moment, what is being promulgated. That, Bad Wolf Project says, I thought Putin was dead, died of a heart attack, end of October. Oh man, they've got all these doppelgangers. Look at Sleepy Joe. If he's off his tits on speed all the time, they reckon they've got 3 or 4 different Joe Bidens that they trot out in case the proper one, the proper president, can't make it. So if the only way to tell, Putin has a very distinctive walk, because from his KGB days, you had to walk a certain way, carrying, a bit of firepower. So he walks in a particular way, and you'll notice that none of the reportage are giving you any footage of him walking anywhere. I know he was with the Saudis the other day, but you try and watch that and try and examine his walk in that footage with one of the Saudis. Not happening. So I wonder why they do that. Because you'd be able to work out that it's a doppelganger. And then they just stick somebody who looks like him. I mean, we're not going to know any difference. He can speak Russian as much as he wants, but we're not going to know any difference, are we? No, Adrian, no. How many are there of you, Adrian? Oh, John, there's dozens. Do you know, if you want to know the name Adrian Allen, at one point in 1998, we just for a bit of fun, we tried to work out how many Adrian Allens there were in the United Kingdom. 750. And I thought I was unique, according to my mother. And I'm going to ask you about Joey Barton. Is Joey Barton right? Because Joey Barton, he believes, well, there's a lot of people that they're not really wanting to get involved in the argument, because is some of it box-ticking wokery? Like some of the female presenters or pundits are coming out and not really engaging with him. But he's saying, look, well, how can a woman be a pundit on the man's game? And they're sort of sidelining the middle-aged white former Premiership footballer, if you will. So I have a very close friend. He was my aide-de-camp at my wedding, and he went to see Chelsea's women play Arsenal's women today. And he said that it was the worst game of football he'd ever seen. Now, he's not liking it to Premiership football. This is the women's game. This is the top level women's game. And he said it was awful. It wasn't really football, he says. And that's not in a misogynistic way. It's not... he just said from a footballing skill point of view, and he watches football, goes to see his own side as much as he can, and goes and sees other footballing games. And he just said it was awful. Now, he didn't say this in relation to the Joey Barton row, but he said some of the skills were very, very lacking. And some of the fitness of some of the women playing was definitely lacking, according to him. And he said one of the strikers was kind of standing on the halfway line, huffing and puffing, and didn't really... So is Joey Barton right? Or do you believe he's being a misogynist? Is it, just let people get on with their lives and do whatever they do? Or is this a case of they have no place unless somebody has, like, if you take swimming, Sharon Davis can commentate on swimming because she's been an Olympian. She's done all of the major tournaments, and she's been a great ambassador for the swimming sport. But can anybody that hasn't played the game actually be a pundit for the Premiership game or that level of football? Now, on the one hand, they're attacking him already. There are some of the female pundits attacking him. They're cancelling him for daring to speak out. They're saying that he's saying female pundits are unqualified to talk about men's football. So where's this common sense MP? Where's she when you need her? Let's talk some common sense. Is it? Let's stop because look, you can earn a lot of money doing media. You can earn a lot of money doing punditry, and the main money is in the men's game. So is it all about the Benjamins? Is it all about the money? According to my friend, it was an awful game of football. Now, look, it's midwinter, almost. And it was lashing it down with rain today. I'm surprised the snow didn't arrive. Tower Block Tracy. Alex Scott, ex-player turned pundit. I know. But... oh, the Uberful. Rubbish. The female football commentator. That's a commentator, not a pundit. Commentator. Anybody can do commentary. I work with a very, very, very good friend of mine, Darren Fletcher, and Larry Lloyd, the ex-Nottingham Forest player, and Liverpool. And they did commentary. And I used to joke with them, going, I can do your job. Gives a job, I can do your job. And he said, I can do yours. I said, I bet you bloody can't. And it was just a joke. But punditry is different. It's not commentary, it's punditry. Lauren Taylor says, well, I never envisaged a day when I would agree with Joey Barton, but I do on this particular issue. Helen Wright's hitting all the fours. Hello, Ellen. Have you woken up? What was the other one that I thought was... GB Patriot. Barton's family are as rough as his brother got done for murder. Joey got done for... Not he didn't serve any time inside, but he stubbed a cigar out on one of the academy players' eyes at Newcastle, I think it was. So he's as rough as a badger's backside. So, yeah, I get it. I mean, he's Barton Scouse. He's not North East. He's not... not even worse than the North East. But this is... Look, I get the game. I get what he's doing. He's basically putting his name out there. Maybe he wants to do a YouTube channel, or what he wants to do podcasting, or he wants to do something. I'm not quite sure whether he's promoting a podcast that he wants to do. But it's really easy. It's being seen to be really straight and direct nowadays. You can't use that kind of language because people will try and cancel you. People will go, you can't say that, you can't say that, it's hate speech. Well, actually, it's just common sense. I mean, how many, I forgot to ask my friend how many people were there on a tough winter day watching the women's game. Now, you can have your international games because they'll get huge attendance for the international matches. But just an average game, Chelsea and Arsenal, two of the better teams in the women's game, but I wonder if they had a full stadium, whether they could manage 50 or 60,000. Oh, he's from Huyton. GB Patriot. I worked for Radio City for just over a year, and I loved working in Liverpool. Loved it. Andrew James, long drive to Scunthorpe to get a new phone at the infamous wall. Is that code for something? Or am I just being dim as per usual? Barton comes from two dogs fighting, Huyton, Liverpool, rough family, same as Rooney's family. I did watch the Rooney doc, the Wagatha Christie. Rebecca Varney didn't get the lickings of a dog. I mean, little Colleen, she's a tough old broad. I wouldn't like to get into a scrap with her. And Wayne just, yeah, just did as he's told. Yeah, Mr. Johnop, I'm gobsmacked. There's not even 60 likes. There's 139 people watching. So before we finish in 5 minutes or so, can we... I think it was around 50,000 attendance at Arsenal v Chelsea. Was it a full stadium? We'll have a look. I'm not suggesting that there's anything wrong in that. What I'm saying is that I'm asking you the question, is Joey Barton a misogynist? Or do you think he has a point? Do you think he's right? Stick it in the comments if you wish. Sean O'Connor, I don't agree with Barton, but I do think, why are there women pundits on men's football, but no men pundits on women's football? Great point. Oh, yeah. GB Patriot. Wally and Billy Hold Your Plums was legendary on Radio City. I think Billy is working for the BBC in BBC Merseyside, isn't he? Yeah. When I got into Liverpool, it was still legendary. So, a couple of things before we sort of wrap up this particular live. Top headlines that you've not possibly seen in the mainstream media this week. You're aware that Hunter Biden has been indicted in California on 9 charges? Not just the tax charges, 9 charges. Federal judges have dismissed a case to remove Trump from Arizona's 2024 presidential ballot. They're pulling every single stunt they can to get that man either to not run or lose the next presidential race. And what's the best that the Democrats have got? Joe on speed. Terry Wookfit, Barton is misogynistic, but he is absolutely correct about punditry. I don't know whether you've seen this, but the Speaker of the House in Washington, Mike Johnson, has told the Biden administration no new funding for Ukraine without an audit. Have they rumbled the OCG Biden family? French farmers, and I saw the video online, didn't see anything in the mainstream media, but the French farmers have been spraying the brown stuff on government buildings in protest of taxes and regulations meant to put them out of business. Brilliant. The French love a demonstration, but it's lots of people have done it. What about the racism row? Yeah, I'm getting to that. I'm trying to squeeze everything in, you're wrong. Who's that? Drayton. Vivian Kenyon. Hit the likes, guys, for our wrong and Adrian. Howie. It's ha-way, not haw-way. See, the difference is H-A, Sunderland, H-O, Newcastle. And we're playing them on 6th of January. If you want to see a rivalry, we're playing them at... are we at home? But Well, we won yesterday. I'm still not holding out any hope. Senator Rand Paul says he will debate the merit of sending the American troops overseas. What's rumbling in America? What is rumbling? University of Pennsylvania, the president told to resign by the board of University of Pennsylvania for refusing to condemn the genocide of Jews. According to an Arizona sheriff, illegal immigrants are being handed $5,000 Visa gift cards, cell phones, and plane tickets. Wow. Elon Musk, Alex Jones back on X after the Tucker Carlson interview exposed what the established media and the CIA have done to him. And finally, Biden's administration's defense secretary threatens to send US families to fight in Ukraine if they don't send more aid. Now, let me just talk about Zelensky, Volodymyr Zelensky, very quickly. His missus has come out and said, if you don't give us more money, then people will die and Ukraine will lose the war. I heard a very strong rumour that when she was in Paris with a fella, she was out spending shed loads on stuff to take back to Ukraine. Clothes, handbags, shoes, the usual malarkey. But she was spending shed loads. And they're asking for billions and billions and billions. And that was Zelensky talking to the Israelis about funding. And there's the Americans going to Zelensky, no, you're not getting any more. You're not getting any more. And he's like, give me more. So the West are giving Zelensky just enough not to lose the war, but they're not giving him enough to win the war. And there's his missus. His missus is coming out saying, give us money. Give us money. What for? How much are you spending? And let's have an audit. You're not getting a ruble, a pound, a dollar more until you let us know. Is it going to the Ukrainian people or is it going on arms and armaments and you're getting a kickback? Terry Wookfit, was the jewellery, Mrs. Z, interested in? Diamonds are a girl's best friend after all. From witnesses, she was buying a shed load of stuff. So let's get to very quickly before we go. Two things. The internationally protected person. Harry is going, oh, my kids, yeah, my kids. Harry, mate, you live in fucking California. Bye-bye. We don't want you back, mate. We don't. And I know what will happen. If your missus gets IPP, internationally protected person, we won't see her for dust. So Harry, stop it, mate. Because I know that what is about to happen, nobody's mentioned Dorian. Nobody's mentioned her. So what was Dorian in jail for 10 years for? What was she in jail for? They're saying Dorian needs to have internationally protected person status because she's always with the kids. Chew on that one in, Harry, mate. Sorry, Henry. So he loses against the Mail on Sunday. He's now squealing. I mean, he's all but saying, my missus has given me jip. Can you not just give her IPP? I realise I'm a prince of the realm, but give her IPP and it's for life. So even if she leaves Harry, she keeps it. And if Doria shuffles off to wherever, goes and lives in the States or is lying on the front lawn, according to Tom Bauer, likes a spliff on the front lawn. That was part of the reason why they got divorced, Thomas and her. But Doria would keep it for life, internationally protected person. And you know what else? It is, I don't think that it's diplomatic protection, kind of. And diplomats don't get their bags searched when they enter each country if you're an internationally protected person. You don't get your hand luggage searched. So is Doria doing something nefarious for the gruesome twosome? What does she carry for them? That's why they want Doria as an IPP. Not because she looks after the kids. Kids has already got a nanny. But mind you, it's been reported by Yahoo News that Harry and Meghan are 28 million in debt. Where are they going to get 28 million from? So they want, I'm sure they want that sorting out before anything else. The race row? I'm going to ask you a simple question. Nobody is looking at this. Where's MI5 and MI6? These are the security services that are there to protect our interests, but not mine and yours. We're just cash cows. They protect the monarchy. So this race row, how much do the intelligence services know about what Scobie was sticking in his book? Early draft. These people don't operate on the same planes as me and you. They know everything. So are the intelligence services getting a kick-in? Was it MI5 internal, MI6 external? So which one of the intelligence services is currently getting a kick-in? They're not mentioning that in the mainstream media, are they? No, don't be silly. Don't want you to get any truths. They don't want you to think that they've got a handle on everything. They just want the drama to play out in the media so that it diverts your attention from actually what is going on. So IPP, keep an eye on it. Meghan wants it, but she wants it for her mother. So then the pair of them can take their little bags of weed in and out of countries, because that's what they gave at her wedding and marriage to Trevor Engelson. They gave everybody a little bag of weed. Harry's a self-admitted drug taker. Everything and anything. Prince Charles sent him to a heroin rehab that they never said what he was in rehab for, but this particular rehab has a speciality in dealing with heroin addicts. You're not seeing that anywhere, except on the News of the World from a few years back, and I'm glad I kept a copy. So my final point is this. We've only got 75 likes. Smash the likes if you would, please. Just it helps the channel. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Kaz987. Adrian, did you see the SMP news that came out today? Sturgeon and husband bought a 100 grand Jaguar and sold it to We Buy Any Car. You can't make that up. I know you haven't, and I did see it, and I laughed uproariously. Because these people think we're stupid. Eventually it catches up with them. And people are saying, oh, she needs to go back into politics. We need her back into politics. Honestly, 100 grand Jaguar, then sell it on We Buy Any Car. I bet they didn't buy it for 100 grand. That's called, well, I know what that's called. I'm not going to mention it here because I don't want the legal team knocking on the door, but I know what it looks like to me, in my view. Alex in Stocking. Right, I'm here now. When do we start? Start. You start. I'm winding it up. Hopefully we'll get to over 100 with all the people that are going to... Video on YouTube about it was... Silver? What? I can't see because there's a bloody heart on me. I need to get rid of that before I start. Yeah, no, the story. I'm going to keep an eye on the story. I'm sure Nicola Sturgeon doesn't want to keep an eye on the story, but her hubby, what has he been involved in? Silver Fox hot takes. Oh, right, okay. Stay off the Battenberg over Christmas, Adrian. GB Patriot, thank you. And Terry Wookfit, Jaguar. Yep. Got to sort my bad bag out first. Right, what was I going to say? Yeah. So, can I just mention this? Because I mean, I shouldn't really. I mean, the poor guy, he's not very well, and he's got me and you taking the mickey out of him, and he's got the two, the Montecito Devils, giving him so much jip this year. But King Charles, have you seen his Christmas card? And I keep telling you, Harry Enfield, just look at him and go and find Harry Enfield as Prince Charles or King Charles or whatever it is in the Windsors on Channel 4. Go and have a look. He's double. But the crown sort of wobbles. And King Charles, his Christmas card that he sent out with him and Queen Camilla. I mean, he just looks uncomfortable in the crown. Do you imagine when it's kind of one of those. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. I mean, if you look at the great Queen Elizabeth II, she looked regal in the crown. It just almost looked as if it was perfect for her. She was meant to wear that crown. But poor King Charles, I mean, there's me. Not really taking the mickey, but I look at it and think, you've got all these advisors, you've got all these people that'll help you do stuff and make it look perfect. And the, expensive photographers and expensive dressers, maybe they need to get on their game a little bit, because any time that King Charles wears the crown, he don't look very confident, is the word, I think. And maybe he's not. Maybe the crown wears heavy. But the Christmas card, man, just look at the image. And then look at William and his family. Poor King Charles. Who'd have thought? He lived all of his life to do this job. He gets there. Mummy shuffles off. Telling you, how long do you think it's going to be before King Charles mentions mummy in the King's speech? Right, I've had enough. I've enjoyed tonight. It's been a giggle. We just need 15 more likes to get it over 100. GB Patriot, Charlie's just a chubby fingerer. Fill you in. He never sent me one. Never sent me one either, Phil, to be fair. I've just seen it in the press. But it just doesn't look. Tower Block Tracy, the purchase of a Jaguar car is being investigated as part of the ongoing police investigation into the SNP's finances. Oops! So you get given a 100 grand car and then you flog it on, we buy. That's just tremendous. Just tremendous. I know what it looks like. The optics are not great. Andy Turner, see you in the Church of Bungle next week. Wednesday, you're wrong. And Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. So Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, and I get a day off. Christmas Eve. Operation Branch Form. Oh, Terry, thank you for that. I'll have a look at that. Thank you for your likes. We can get it up to over 100, I'm sure. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all, and always, your indulgence. My name's Adrian Allen. I'll see you for the next live on Wednesday, 8 o'clock. More malarkey. And don't forget the Battenberg, and there'll be more videos coming tomorrow. Can't wait. Be safe. Be well. We're only 2 weeks away from Christmas.